Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Baseline. Thanks for joining me. Hope you guys are having a great day out there. Today, June 4th, 2025, the day the world quietly slid toward war. So, are we already in World War III? All right, let me just say something up front. And something about today feels different. And you ever get that feeling in your stomach, that pit in your stomach feeling, like the moment before the storm is about to hit, or it's like the calm before the storm? I don't know what analogy you want to use, but that's what June 4th, 2025 feels like. We've got Iran saying, and I'm quoting this, right? We'll enrich uranium to any level we want, and you Americans can't do a damn thing about it. Oof. And we've got Russia full on laughing at Trump's ceasefire threats after the Ukraine drones just struck Russian borders. And they struck it on Russia's home turf. It's insane. And we've got Trump back in the mix on the phone with Putin, trying to play peacemaker with a flamethrower in his hand. So now, I'm not trying to freak you guys out, but if you think the world isn't shifting beneath your feet, you haven't been paying attention. So let's break it down. We're going to break it down together, and let's talk about what it really means for us right here in the United States. So let's talk about the phone call that didn't calm a thing. So here's how we know it went down so far. Trump picks up the phone, he dials up Putin, and they talk for over an hour. Now, you think maybe something productive came out of that conversation, but nope. Putin's response is like, he literally says, retaliation's coming. Get ready. And he did it with zero hesitation. And Putin is that scary kind of guy, right? It's like two guys talking about a wildfire, and one of them is holding gasoline. And Trump gave him that, you've got 2 weeks to make peace ultimatum a while back. But Putin just crumpled that up like an old receipt in your pocket, and he tossed it into the fire. So here's the real kicker, right? Trump thought he was making progress. Putin just used the call to draw a line. Now, if history tells us anything, when Putin draws a line, it's usually not in pencil. And he's just a scary guy in that way. Now, let's go to Iran. Iran just threw a chair at the table. And because today, like literally hours ago, Iran's supreme leader got up in front of a mic and said, we will enrich uranium to whatever level we want, and the United States can't stop us. Now, that's not posturing. That's a nuclear middle finger. And before you think, oh, maybe they mean peaceful enrichment, they are already at 60%. You don't need 60% for a light bulb, guys. That's weapons grade territory. I wonder if they already have it, you know? And what did Trump say in response to all this? He said zero enrichment, period. That's Trump's line. But Iran basically used that as a welcome mat to stomp on with muddy boots. Now, here's where it gets even more tangled, right? Putin says he wants to help mediate the deal. Like what? The guy bombing Ukraine wants to help settle Iran's nuclear ambitions. But isn't that like the arsonist offering to babysit your lighter? It sounds nuts, right? Anyway, it seems like the world's worst group chat. We got Russia, Iran, and now China. Now, here's the part that really makes my stomach twist, right? We're not looking at isolated issues. We're looking at aligned movements. Iran plus Russia does not equal something random. Iran gets cover while Russia tests NATO. And Russia plays peacemaker while Iran gets time. Meanwhile, China's playing a completely different game. We're going to get into that in a second, but this isn't about bad actors. This is a bad alliance. Imagine a group chat where the messages are, let's test America's patience. Let's destabilize Ukraine. Let's sneak nukes into the play. And they're all replying with fire emojis. It's nuts. Now, it sounds dark, but if you connect the dots, it's not just a conspiracy. It really seems like coordination. What do you guys think? Is it conspiracy? You think it's something intentional? Now we have Gaza, a flashpoint, and that's Israel's red line. So just when you think the geopolitical Jenga tower couldn't get any wobbly or any harder to come by, here comes the Middle East again in Gaza. Aid trucks rolling in. Palestinian civilians waiting, hungry, desperate, just trying to get food. Then shots ring out. Bodies drop, guys. The IDF says the crowd strayed from the approval route. I don't know why that means that has to kill everybody, but okay. But the videos, that seems to tell another story, the kind of story that doesn't need narration. It just needs silence. In Israel, they're holding back, but barely. And here's the wild part. The only reason Israel hasn't struck Iranian nuclear sites is because Trump asked them to wait. Like he's saying, just let me try this diplomacy thing one more time. And Israel's response is, I mean, you can almost hear their just jaws clenching up. It's like, okay, for now, but I think we know how all this works, and we can't unsee dead civilians. You can't keep a military on this leash forever. So here's the scenario we don't want, right? Israel finally retaliates. Iran responds with missiles. The US is forced to step in. And then suddenly, this isn't a skirmish anymore. It's a multi-front war. And all of it set off by a few chaotic minutes near a food line. That is what war in 2025 looks like. It's not a declaration. It's like a domino effect. Now, China, Taiwan, and the invisible war that's already happening. Now, let's talk about China. China, and let me warn you guys, this isn't theory. It's not doom scrolling. This is happening in real time. And it's happening right here on American soil. So today, sources out of Homeland Security are whispering about Chinese nationals caught tampering with food supplies on U.S. farmland. Now, I'll be honest, I had to triple check this one because I don't like spreading fear. I don't do clickbait. But when you hear credible threats and biological sabotage, everyone's ears should perk up because that's not just war prep. That's domestic warfare. So what's the play here? It's simple, or maybe not, I don't know. But China's watching Iran stir chaos. Russia's stretching NATO out. And they're asking, why not us? They're already prepping for Taiwan. The move we all know is coming anyway, right? But here's the thing. You don't invade Taiwan unless you know the United States is too distracted to do anything about it. So what do? You hit it through the back door, right? You take out the food supply, you scramble comms, you target water trucks, gas pipelines, AI infrastructure, and not with tanks, but with tactics. And that's where we are right now. It's the warm-up act to an invisible warfare. So if you're waiting for a Pearl Harbor moment, you're going to miss it. The next war won't start with an explosion. It's going to start with a shortage, a blackout, a whisper, and then one headline that changes everything. So here we go. We have fallout, faith, and then what comes next here? So let's pull back just for a moment. Take a deep breath. Oh, I know this has been a heavy episode, right? But I want to level with you, not as a host or somebody on YouTube or the internet, but just as another human living in this moment. What we're facing right now, it isn't just a foreign policy crisis. It's a trust crisis, and we're in a leadership vacuum. The population hasn't been trained to see. Let me say this again. We have a population that's been trained to sleep through alarm bells. So look, I don't know if war is coming next month or next year. God, man, I hope not. But this is what I do know. Every headline you're seeing right now, it's happened before. Different flags, but same pattern. And if we don't learn the lesson this time, I don't know if we'll get another round or not. So here's what I would love for you to walk away with, right? Try to be the most informed person in the room. Don't rely on these mainstream food feeds, dig, ask. I've been learning how to ask the question, is that even true? So try to read between the lines and start preparing. I mean, not out of fear, but in calm and intentional readiness. Basic stuff, food, water, offline backups, community. It's crazy times right now, guys. Don't let fear hijack it. Don't let propaganda rewire it. You've got intuition, good intuition, and use it. Trust it, sharpen it, because if this is the prelude to something bigger, the ones who are going to weather it aren't going to be the loudest people. They're the ones who are just simply awake early. Anywho, guys, thanks so much for spending time with me. Thanks for watching The Baseline. Stay ready. Whatever happens, we face it all together, right? All right, we'll catch you guys on the next episode of The Baseline. Thank you so much for watching, and cheers, everybody.